So here we go, it's season 9 of the Lincoln Loco and we're about to start our first season with European football. I hope you're as excited as I am. Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco. It's the first game of the season and it's Euro Cup qualifying action. We're up against Hammerby from Sweden and actually I'm a little bit worried about it. I think Hammerby could probably give us a bit of a run for our money. We should be the stronger side today, but you can never tell with these kind of things, especially in European football. We've had a pretty busy summer, we've done a lot of business and I'm looking forward to taking you through that, of course. Not much happened over summer other than this kind of transfer business, things like that, but we did play some England stuff and I tell you what, I'm going to show you this now because it is incredible. I should have recorded it, I wish I had. We won the International League, which isn't that impressive really, it's the European International League thing. But what is impressive is the manner that we won it. We played Italy in the final. We were 1-0 down until Brad Yeo scores in the 90th minute, and then the 94th minute, Steve Thompson, who plays for West Brom of all teams, came through and scored in the 94th minute to win it, which is absolutely incredible. So we had a pretty decent summer with England. I didn't play the International World Cup qualifiers, but I did play the Spain and Italy game. We beat Spain on penalties, actually. Again, Harry Kane was a late goal there, so we had lots of late goals, actually, in this to reach the final and eventually win it. But we've done that, so I've got an achievement there to win something internationally, I suppose. Back with Lincoln though, we are edging ever closer now. If we look at the board stuff, the youth and training facilities will finally be done soon. They've been being built for ages. I can see since 2023 and they keep changing like the end date because they keep saying we're going to upgrade it even more and more and more. So the end date is nearly here now. Hopefully that'll be happening pretty soon. And of course, we've got the final season now with the brand new stadium. So this is the last season we've got at Tinsel Bank before moving to the new Grant Brown Park, named after Lincoln City legend Grant Brown. Right then, let's get on to some transfers then. And we've been pretty busy. A lot of players have left and a lot of players have come in actually. So we'll have a look. We've actually strengthened in the areas that I said we needed to strengthen in last episode. If we look at the transfer history here, we've spent 66 million and sold 58 million pounds worth of players. That might actually rise to 68 million soon because there is a player that's looking to leave. He's another one of these guys that we tried and bought last season but couldn't get a work permit, thinking they could play in the under-23s. Turns out they couldn't and they can't get work permits, so we're trying to sell them on. But a few of them are worth a lot of money, so I'll show you that now actually, and the outs and things like that. So Perrier has gone, importantly. He's the biggest name to leave. Perrier's gone to Krasnodar for 20 million, rising to 25 million. Facundo Vieira's gone for 12.25, rising to 19.25 million. Jan Valerie's gone for 6.5. Helmut Asella is one of those guys that we got in as a work permit and couldn't get one, so he's gone now for 6, rising to 8.25. Josh De Silva's gone for 4.3 million. Chris Bedia has gone for 2.3 million. And a few players have gone out. I mean, a lot of these players are all the work permit players that are leaving for this kind of money. But Pajovic is another player with a work permit. He's gone for Roma for £250,000 a month. That'd be 2.5 million across the season. Sakamoto for Wolves for £200,000 a month. So that's 2 million over the season. So we're making a lot of money off loan players. At least those two, which is pretty decent. That then brings us on to the ins. And the first player we brought in is Radoslav Ivanovic, who is an accident. I meant to cancel the transfer, but I pressed accept instead. He's a right-sided winger that I did quite want. I fancied him for his potential. However, he can't get a work permit. So I meant to cancel it, but then I pressed accept instead. So he's here. He's not going to feature. I'm trying to sell him and get him on loan, but no one wants him at all, which is a bit annoying, considering that we paid £2.5 million for him. So don't expect to see him at all. If he does get a work permit, he'll be a backup player, but he's only as good as Lukasic, and we don't really need that. So he's here. We didn't want him. Don't see him. Don't expect to see him, basically. Daniel Esposito is the new guy that's come in, though, and he's actually going to be our new right winger, which is very controversial, I know, because I know a lot of people here love Lukasic. However, he's 3.5-star current ability. Lukasic's only 2.5-star, and I feel like to go to that next level, we do need someone better on that right-hand side than Lukasic. So Lukasic will be here as our backup player this season. He will get game time, of course. But Daniel Esposito, which I've already decided we're going to rename him because Daniel Esposito is boring. We're going to set his nickname to not Esposito, But you can already guess it, can't you? Despacito. And we're going to sing the song every time he scores a goal. So get ready for that. Comes in for 6.5 million from Braga. We had a pretty decent season last time out after moving from Benfica for 2.3 million. So they've made a nice bit of money at Braga. But I think 6.5 million for a player of his quality as a, say here, good player for Premier Division sides, I reckon that's a pretty good transfer and a pretty good piece of money. He's already valued at 14.25 million here, so I think we've done a good piece of business there. Got some good crossing, some good pace and some good technique. That's what you want in a winger. I'm looking for him to score and get lots of assists this season, so I'm looking forward to seeing if perhaps the right side of midfielders can do better than the left ones. In the past few seasons, it's been the left side of midfielders that have done better. Hopefully this guy will balance things out a little bit. We spent 13.25 million on Lorenzo Nascereto. Is that a name I can say? Nascereto. Lorenzo. He comes in from Burnley for 13.25 million. Central midfielder. We needed a backup player there essentially. He's a deep line playmaker, so he's sort of that backup to Jalapeno basically. But 3.5 star current ability, 4-star potential. He's a pretty decent player, and I think at £13 million we've got him slightly on the cheap as well. Got some good first touch there and got some really good mental stats, especially that teamwork, vision and work rate. That's what really made me think I need to sign this guy. Only 23 years old and made lots of appearances for Switzerland as well, so I think he's probably a well-rounded player that will probably be a little bit cross actually if he's not starting games. I feel like perhaps we need to start him a little bit, but we've got Jalapeno there and we've got another new midfielder as well, so I'll show you him in a minute, but this is why he's going to be sort of a backup player, because we've got better players in there already. Midfield is our strongest area. As I said, came in from Burnley after coming on a free to them from Young Boys, but played very well in the Premier League the past 2 seasons, or the Championship actually the season before that, but played well last year in the Premier League for Burnley, and I think 13.25 million was a pretty good bit of business. So of course we solved the right winger issue, we need to solve the right back issue, and we've done that with these next 2 players. Nicolo Bardi comes in as a 3-star current ability right back with some fantastic physical stats, some pretty decent mentals and technicals. They're okay, they need a bit more, especially if he wanted to be a fullback. He's more a defensive fullback, so if we play more defensive formations, this guy will start. I absolutely love his physicals though, they are fantastic, and that's probably what makes him a 3-star current ability player. I think if he didn't have such good physicals, his technicals wouldn't make up for it. It'd be quite a lot lower down. But he's a target of ours last season as well, but we didn't sign him for whatever reason. I think it's because we got Johnson in instead, and we probably would have paid more for him. He's played his entire career at Empoli, and he's played alright the past few seasons, but I think for £6 million of a player of his quality was an offer too good to refuse, I think, especially for a work permit as well. So, welcome Nicolo Bardi. You'll play a bit, but I don't think you'll play as much as the next guy brought in for £6.5 million from Man United, Luis Ferraria, or Ferria, again, a name that I can't particularly pronounce, but 3-star current ability once again, but it's got 3.5-star potential. Slightly more suited to the sort of fullback, wing-back role that we play. His crossing could be better if we're being honest with yourselves here. We'll try and train that a little bit, but he's got some very good physicals, just like the last guy, particularly that pace and acceleration, which is what I really like. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this season. Didn't have much of a chance at Man United actually. He's been on loan at lots of different places, but in the past few seasons in the Premier League, so he's got lots of Premier League experience. So he should be ready to come into the side this year and really hit the ground running. Was at Swansea last year, played very well, and Swansea of course did very well last season. So if he can just carry that form in for us from last season to this season, I think we've got a decent, really talented player on our hands. So there's the right back issue solved, the right winger issue solved. We needed an attacking midfielder, and it was difficult to get one in who was 1, good enough, 2, could get a work permit, and 3, was good value for money. So this guy comes in actually. Carlos Avalos comes in from Libertad. Where are they from? I forget. From Paraguay. He's a Paraguayan guy. £750,000 is an absolute steal for a man that's now valued at 8.5 million. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. It's got some fantastic mental stats to be fair. His mentals are amazing. Physically, not the best. Technically, not the best, but he will improve. He's only 22 years old. He will get better and better. Comes in as more of an advanced playmaker than an attacking midfielder, but we'll train him to become more of an attacking midfielder as things go on. He could be better, really, attacking midfield-wise. Of course, he's up against Brahim Diaz, who did sign a new contract in the end, and Brahim Diaz has got some really good dribbling, some really good first touch, and some really good long shots as well. So they're in direct competition this season, and I think this guy will start. But of course, if he doesn't play well, we've got Brahim Diaz still there, who played very well last season. It's probably a bit harsh, actually, to replace him, really. But he comes in, has played very well his past few seasons. Past few seasons, he's got 7s and everything. I mean, of course, his first 2 seasons, you don't want to look at because they were rubbish. But since then, 7s and everything, is a Paraguayan international. Paraguay are like 10th or 11th in the international ranking. So if he carries that form in from the past few seasons, I'm dead excited to see what he can do. And the final player that we have brought in from Genk for £30 million, half of our expenditure this summer, is Jordi Mertens, and he is an absolute star. Central midfield player, plays as a Carrillo rather than a box-to-box or anything like that. So we may try and train to become box-to-box, but Carrillo is relatively similar to box, so it doesn't matter too much. It doesn't have to change our formation too much. But 4-star current ability, 5-star potential, professional wonder kid. I'm so excited to see how he develops. He's only 20 years old as well. He's going to be fantastic. £30 million is actually a steal as well. That was his release fee clause, and I think for a player of his quality and his potential, that's fantastic. Has played very well at Genk the past few seasons in the first division there. Played really, really solid football. So I think if he carries that through, will be really good this season. Report-wise, he is so good. Jalapeno was rated at 4-star last season, as was Pandolfi for a little bit, but they've dropped down to 3.5-star now, purely because Jordi Mendes comes in, is that much better. He's moved their stars down to the extent that Jalapeno now is limited at 4-star current ability, or potential ability rather. So I do feel like this guy could take us to the next level. He could be the best player in the club, I think, Jordi Mendes. So I'm excited by him. He really does excite me. And I think this season he could be a star man for us. And that then is the summer business, basically. That's what we've done. We've addressed the issues that we needed. There haven't been the best players or marquee signings. I suppose Jordi Mendes as the marquee signing is probably the one that stands out the most. The other ones, possibly not the best, but we've really struggled actually over summer with work permits and finding players that could get work permits and weren't going to cost a fortune. So I think what we have got in is good, but it could have been better. But it's just Brexit and things like that. That's the thing holding us back. If we didn't have that, we'd be having a much better side now, I reckon. I think we'd be a lot better off and things like that. So Brexit does add an extra element and an issue, but it does hinder us slightly as well and things like that. So it's just a balance of things, I suppose. Right, we've got that out of the way. We're now entering the Europa League for the first time, and I'm actually pretty nervous actually for this game. We've had a really, really good pre-season actually. We've only drawn one game against Bayern Munich, but we beat Dortmund 6-2, Red Bull Salzburg 7-0, things like that. We had a really good not that I played any of these, my assistant manager did it all, obviously, because I'm not going to do it. But we played a pretty decent pre-season and things like that, so I should be confident going to these games, especially when we beat teams like Roma as well, things like that. But I can't help but be nervous, basically. This is the side, then, that's going to be doing it. Masovic, Patino, Benteke and Ferreira, which is going to annoy me. How do I even say that? We'll stick with Ferreira for now. Ferreira's fine. They start as a back line ahead of Reynolds starting in goal. Jalapeno starts as that deep line playmaker with Mertens coming in as that Carrillo today. Gomez and Despacito on the wings. Arvelos in the middle with Hammer Time starting up front today. Of course, he's going to be the main man scoring goals this season. Jesus Jimenez promoted to the bench after Facundo Vieira has been moved on. And of course, that does mean that, where is he? He's down here, Mark Hall will probably get call-ups this season. Mark Hall, the youngster, still got 5-star potential, still got 2-star current ability, is good for the Championship. So we could have sent him on loan in the Championship, but I think we're better off giving him little odd starts and substitute appearances in the Premiership, I think, basically. So I reckon we'll have a good season. Right, kick-off is upon us here. We're kicking off at home against Hammerby. Sinsel Stadium is going to see Europa League football before we move next season, of course. The Europa League does excite me in a way. I think, particularly for clubs at our level and things like that. Obviously, everyone only cares about the Champions League, but Europa League does throw up some surprises. Arsenal obviously lost to a Swedish team the other day, actually. Obviously, they won overall, but they lost 2-1. And that is what I love about the Europa League and things like that, how there's so much of what can happen. As Hammer Time, 4 minutes into the game, scores our first goal in European football, and that settles my nerves a bit. 4 minutes in, we've already won the up. That is fantastic. I say we're absolutely dominating. We've had 4 shots in 4 minutes, which is, of course, very, very good. But it does settle my nerves, because I was nervous coming to this game, as now Despacito gets his first chance on the ball, gets past his man into Gomez, and Gomez should have done so much better there. The cross from Despacito was incredible. As I was saying there, of course, like, Arsenal losing to that Swedish team, I can't remember the name, and if I did remember it, I couldn't be able to pronounce it either way. But obviously, they lost to them, and I love the Europa League for that, just sort of throwing teams together that obviously would never ever play with each other or against each other, and they just throw up some really good, interesting things. So I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully we get to the group stages, and hopefully we get a really good group in the group stages. And when I say really good group, I mean like teams from all over the place, and perhaps teams we may not have heard of before or don't know much about, because that'll be interesting as Gomez comes forward, puts it into Hammer Time, who hits the post. We should be 3-0 up in this game already. Hammerby really not offering anything. I shouldn't have been nervous actually looking at this. We seem to be dominating already. But if we were 3-0 up right now, we'd be home and dry, and it would be easy into the 4th qualifying round. Of course, this is the 3rd qualifying round. If we win this, we have one more qualifying round to do, and then we go into the group stages. So a lot of football still to play before we get to the group stages, but I'm backing us to get there. I mean, 13 shots right now. If I'm being honest with ourselves here, we should be scoring more goals from 13 shots. Only 3 on target, and that is worrying. Like, I don't want to sound like I know everything about football, but, it can't be that hard to get your shots on target. Especially, we've had 15 now, only 3 on target. Highlight now, in the closing moments of the half, Jalapeno on the ball, plays it towards Despacito, who gets dispossessed. Ferrara back on the ball, then Mertens into Aravoles, which is a name that's really going to trouble me because I can't quite work out how to properly say it and say it fluidly. As Hammer time settles my nerves once again. We go 2-0 up now against Hammerby. Just before half time, I think we should be safe really for the 4th qualifying round. I reckon if we get 1 or 2 more goals, there's no point showing you the next game, because obviously it would make this episode really long if we showed it, and then if we showed it anyway, we'd have to have another episode like straight away, and I don't really want to do that. I sort of want to get stuck into the Europa League in the next stages. So I think if we score 1 or 2 more goals in this, I don't think we need to show the next game. I think we should be comfortably through. There's still to have a shot yet in this game, which kind of shows how comfortable it has been for us. So obviously we had to show this one because it's the first game, but I don't really think it's necessary to show the next game if we're so dominant and we score a few more goals. It was like last season in the League Cup when we beat, whoever it was, Brighton 6-1, or whoever we played. We beat them 6-1 in the first leg of a semi-final. There's no point showing the second leg because we'd already got through. Free kick for Hammerby now actually, but their free kick wasn't very good. Patina now can clear the ball as Gomez has a chance to come forward. Despacito has been played through on this right hand side, got plenty of space, crosses it in, cleared by Johnson, but only as far as it got to someone. But now Marseillaise puts it into Gomez, who gets himself tackled, but Marseillaise wants to get on the ball. Jalapeno into Mertens through to Despacito. I was about to start singing, but I couldn't because he put it wide. Right, Jalapeno's not played too well, so let's give Nasarato. I mean, I've got to try and work out how to say that name as well. I think Nasarato is probably the right way to say it, actually, looking at it. But we'll bring him on for his competitive debut. Aravoles has not played particularly well, so Diaz can come on for him. We'll try and rotate them a little bit to just see who is better and better, but we'll leave those 2 on the pitch for now. And when I say that, I mean we'll make those 2 substitutes for now. We may make another one later on as Ferrara puts the ball in, but Gustafsson plays back to the goalkeeper who clears it, but only as far as Patino. Now Marseillaise with a chance to come forward. Gomez with a chance. Gomez in the middle. Can't do anything with it, but Mertens from the edge of the area. Just wide. That was close. He's showing his talent now, is Mertens, but couldn't get it on target. I should note actually, if you're in the Discord, but the TomFM Discord, there's a link to join in the description. You'll have already known for days and days that we're playing Hammerby. I think you'll have already known since like Thursday last week. This will probably come on Monday. You'll have known since Thursday or Friday. Thursday, I reckon, that we're playing Hammerby. Because I got through pre-season pretty quickly and wanted to record this and things like that because I'm excited. As Hammer Time comes forward, can't get his hat-trick just yet. We're still only 2-0 up somehow. They've still not had a shot. We've only had 4 shots on target. This is really poor, actually, from us shooting-wise. As I was saying, though, of course, yeah, Discord, you'd already know that we're playing Hammerby. So if you want insider secrets into the series and things like that, do join the Discord. There's a few of you now there. I think there's like 23 of us, so that's pretty decent, I think. So if we can get more and more guys in there, that'd be fantastic and get more of a bit of a community growing there. Right, Hammer Time's got a chance to come forward now, but it's got to be a lot of defenders. Gets it out wide into Diaz, and Diaz gets himself a goal. We're now 3-0 up, and I think we must be comfortable now for qualification. We've had 24 shots. We're 3-0 up. They've not had a single shot and not done anything in this game. I'm not going to show you the next game. I've decided that now, basically. I don't think we need to show you it. They've just had a man sent off as well. I've completely sort of missed it. I wasn't really sure what was going on until I saw like the red and he's been sent off. I mean, we think 3-0 is pretty decent. We could be Maribor, who are 9-0 up right now. I'd quite like to be 9-0 up, actually. That would be pretty decent, to be fair. But we don't need to be. We've won the game 3-0. They've not had a single shot. We've absolutely dominated us from start to finish. I think we're pretty much comfortable for the 4th qualifying round. Well, there we go. A pretty successful first game in European football. 3 goals, a few debuts, and of course, a fantastic win for us. If we look here then, right. I think we're pretty safe. I don't think we need to show that next Hammerby game. watch me now lose at 4-0 and it's not recorded or something like that. But I think we're pretty safe for that game. So I reckon next episode will be the 4th qualifying round, just because I think that's probably slightly better to do, I think, because obviously we want to focus on European football this season, because of course that's where we are, and we can't take it for granted. We got very lucky last year to win the Cup, so there's no guarantee of us getting it this season as well. We have to put in a fantastic shift in the Premier League if we want European football again next season, so we can't take it for granted. We've got to make the most of it, and we've got to show as many games as possible to try and celebrate our Europa League exploits this season. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, you like our new signings, and of course you love European football, then drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco